So these would be also some great things to draw or make note of. You know, you could draw the little mouse. There. It's not. There we go. There's a little mouse. And then I could draw the cat Dinah. Maybe looking at the little mouse. I don't know. There. Maybe something like that. Okay. So the cat Dinah is looking at the little mouse. You know, Alice wants to introduce them. And I'll label it Dinah. And then also the pool of tears. You know, however your vision is of that pool of tears would maybe be a good thing. I'm not even sure how big it would be or how it would go. So I'm just going to draw kind of like that. Pool of tears. But you can use all these you know, types of drawings to help you make sense a little bit about what's going on in the story. Alright. So, and she says, I think you'd take a fancy to cats if only you could see her. She is such a dear, quiet thing. Alice went on, half to herself, as she swam lazily about in the pool. And she sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face, and she is such a nice, soft thing to nurse. And she's a capital one for catching mice. Oh, I beg your pardon, cried Alice again, for this time the mouse was bristling all over, and she felt certain she must have really offended. We won't talk about her any more if you'd rather not. We indeed, cried the mouse, who was trembling down to the end of his tail. As if I would talk on that subject. Our family has always hated cats. Nasty little vulgar things. Don't let me hear the name again. I won't, said Alice, in such a hurry to change the subject of conversation. Are you fond of dogs? The mouse did not answer, so Alice went on eagerly. There is such a nice little dog near our house. I should like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier. You know, with oh such long, curly brown hair. And it'll fetch things when you throw them. It'll sit up, beg for its dinner, and all sorts of things. I can't remember half of them. And it belongs to a farmer, you know, and he says it's so useful it's worth £100. He says it kills all the rats, and oh dear, cried Alice in a sorrowful tone, I'm afraid I've offended it again. For the mouse went swimming away from her as hard as it could, and making quite a commotion in the pool as it went. You ever do that? You know, you just keep saying the wrong thing, don't mean to, but it just keeps coming out. You know, you're not really thinking about how it's getting perceived, and well, before you know it, you said the wrong thing several times, and just didn't work out the way you hoped. So she called softly after it, Mouse dear, do come back again, and we won't talk about cats or dogs either, if you don't like them. When the mouse heard this, it turned around and swam slowly back to her. Its face was quite pale with passion, Alice thought, and it said in a low, trembling voice, let us get to the shore, and then I'll tell you my history, and you'll understand why it is I hate cats and dogs. It was high time to go, for the pool was getting quite crowded with the birds and animals that had fallen into it. There were a duck and a dodo, a lory and an eaglet, and several other curious creatures. Alice led the way, and the whole party swam to shore. That is the end of chapter 2.